welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I have a review for you. I visited my 13th MLB stadium this past week, that being Nationals Park in Washington, D.C., home of the Washington Nationals, and I'm going to give you my full review from my experience, and I have to say, I wasn't expecting to be as surprised as I was, and I was surprised in a good way. So let's kick it off with, I'm going to give you my full rating on score. I came up with a scoring system in a little bit, but now let's just kind of talk about my experience to start off here. So we were in DC for over a week on vacation. The last day of vacation, we went to the Nationals game. They played the San Diego Padres in Game 2 of the series. Now, they ended up losing 12-3, but we'll get to what happened in the game a little bit later. Now, before the game, it was a very nice area right outside of Nationals Park. From what I heard, it's kind of a newly developed area called Navy Yard, a ton of apartments and things, but at the bottom of those apartment buildings were a lot of restaurants and bars. We hopped into a couple of them before the game, and it was very fun to just sit and chill in that kind of game-like atmosphere. And then we took a trip around the stadium, got to see the front, which the exterior on the front side of things was a little bit disappointing. They only had 3 statues, and and there wasn't really much to see. But when you got to the outfield, you really had that ballpark village type vibe as there is in St. Louis, Chicago, at Wrigley, and many other MLB stadiums, Truist Park, another one that I went to last year. So I love those atmospheres outside the stadium, and Nationals Park did a very good job of that. So we went into the stadium right when the gates opened, 95 minutes before game time or so. So we got in, watched batting practice from the outfield. Ushers had no problem with us going where our seats weren't and watching batting practice, which I like. At some other stadiums, they're much more strict about that. So that was a very good job for Nationals Park. And then we went around, walked to our seats, got something to eat, and then it was game time. So everything went very smoothly before the game. It was a little difficult to find our seats on the 300 level, but overall, no problem. So nothing really too big there. Now, let's get into my scoring system that I went over. I made up 5 categories to rank them here. Atmosphere, food, game presentation, the looks of the inside of the stadium, and then kind of the looks and feel of the outside as well. So this was my first time to Nationals Park, my 13th MLB stadium, and it was a fun game. It started off fast. Nationals went up 3-0 in the first inning, and then the Padres just raked from there, winning 12-3 with 20 total hits. I went the day before the Dylan Cease no-hitter, so I just missed it. But back to the scoring system. The atmosphere. If you can see in this picture behind me, which you probably can't, that's a picture that I took. It's also the thumbnail of the video if you want to go get a closer look at that. But you can tell it's not a full house by any means. It was really quiet earlier in the game. It started to fill up a bit, but still, with the Nationals, the way that their season has kind of struggled, they've struggled for a couple years now, especially how they were down big in this game. The atmosphere was not that great. Maybe I just picked a bad game to judge, but I gave it a 4 out of 10. All these will be based out of 10. The food, that was a really good part of this stadium. Every MLB stadium has ramped up their food these last few years, and every park you go to, it just gets better. I got a smash burger from a burger place on the 300 level. It was very good. And then I also got a helmet ice cream that came in this City Connect helmet, as you can see there. And I guess it wasn't ice cream, it was custard. But still, man, was it good. So food, 9 out of 10. Well done there, Nationals Park. Game presentation. I really like a good game presentation. It's fun for the fans. It's fun for everybody. And here, I gave the Nationals a pretty good score because you got the President's Race. They had a couple of games on the video board. They had an in-game host doing some fun things around the game. So I gave them a 7 out of 10 there. Nothing to complain about. Kept me engaged at least. And I think a lot of other people who aren't always there for the baseball would enjoy those fun things in between innings as well. Now the looks of the interior. The concourse it had a weird color combination. So in some spots the floor was red and the walls were navy, which are obviously team colors, but it just kind of looked a little weird. But when you walk around like into the outfield, the concourse is great, offers spectacular views. Even up in the upper deck concourse where I was sitting in 317, the concourse up there, good views looking out as well. There were picnic benches to watch, so you didn't have to go to your seat to watch the games. You could eat your food from up above and still see the field. There were spots to hang in the outfield. Lots of good spots and lots of great views. The outfield looks really good. I think the view out there with all the apartment buildings in the background looks pretty cool as well. So the overall looks of the interior of the stadium, a 7 out of 10 for me there. And then the exterior. I mentioned that I had a little bit of disappointment from the front with only the couple of statues and not really a big marquee showing of the name on the front or really any views out there. But when you get to the outfield, there's a lot of fun to be had. The team store, a lot of views. You can even look into the stadium when the gates aren't even open yet. So that's always fun to see out in the outfield with all the bars, restaurants, and activities. I did enjoy that. So 8 out of 10 for the exterior. Total score, 35 out of 50. Nationals Park pleasantly surprised me. I ranked it 9th out of the 13 stadiums I've been to, but I haven't been to any of the West Coast ones. Still a little shy on the East Coast ones, and nothing in Florida yet. Or Texas, none of those people. So I've really stuck to a lot of the Midwestern teams. Now I'm starting to stretch out to new ballparks. But Nationals Park, from what I had been seeing, my hopes weren't too high, but they did surprise me. So I enjoyed my experience there. Despite the Nationals losing big, it was fun for me as a Cubs fan. I didn't care who won. I liked seeing all the offense, and it was a very enjoyable experience at Nationals Park, and I would definitely go back. It's a nice area down there in Washington, D.C. I hope this review was helpful for anybody who just wanted to know my opinion, or if you're going to Nationals Park soon, make sure to like this video and subscribe if you found it helpful, and we will see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.